Your mic there, Sue. Where's your mic gone? Sue? She swallowed her microphone, or the microphone's fallen off her head or something. Where are you, Sue? I don't hear her on Skype. I can see that her voice is active.
Can you hear me right now?
Ah, there you are.
My apologies. I don't know why it dropped. I just muted and unmuted. I'm so sorry.
It's all right. We're saying about this this lovely red.
Back to the red disaster. Baron, don't go there. He knows me so well. I was... when I was new, I spent a lot of time wandering around, just being really amazed by the passion that people were pouring into spaces. And one of the things I took note of when I was thinking of ways that this could help to make money was that there seemed to be an interest in patriotic Americana. And I thought, well, I'll make a piano, even though I'm Canadian, that sort of embraces that. And it was bright red with the blue. It just, at the time, seemed like a really good idea. And looking back on it now, I can't even bear to be in the same room as it. It just, you evolve after 4 years, thank God. And I think that's where a lot of the influence Baron's had on me has just been in the way that I look at textures. So I don't have to look at that red disaster any longer.
The good thing about it is that you realize how far you've come. It's exactly the same with singers, Sue. And you're a musician, you would know this. If I ever listen back to my first album, I have to turn it off. I can't bear it. Now, you've got a lovely gramophone behind there as well, which is just beautiful. Did you get that design from a real life gramophone, or is this entirely your own design?
Almost everything I create is out of nowhere but my head. One of the things that I love about Second Life is that I can indulge myself here. And while I'm influenced by things in real life, I'll see something that inspires me. I tend to simply start pulling prints together and creating, pulling graphics together and painting. My graphics are all hand done. The things that I do really just come from within an internal playground and whatever muse is speaking to me. And while the basic structure of the gramophone is true to life, that design is just strictly my own.
You had some problems, I think it was earlier this year or last year, with somebody copybotting your pianos, which are very distinctive. Have you ever had that happen again?
Oh, I think anyone who's ever been a designer or a builder has this happen all the time. And it really comes down to having to pick and choose your battles. I did have someone who took a number of the core textures, and when you create your own textures, you recognize it immediately when someone lifts them. And a lot of the time, people, when you just say, you know, you've probably managed to come across this by accident in a bundle you've purchased, but that is something, would you please remove it? Most people are great about that, but we did have one particular bloke who was quite nasty and abusive, refused to take it down, and so we sort of called in the troops.
I love the way you say bloke. That sounds so Aussie. Now, you credit Baron Grayson, who's in the audience here, who's the founder and creator of the incredible Relic sim, with being a major influence on you. In what way has he been an influence on you?
So many. He really is a big part of my serendipity here. From the moment he crashed his airship into a sign and fell into my piano store 3.5 years ago, it's just really it changed my life, and certainly my path as a designer. He was the one who originally talked me out of my manic run back. Those of you who have been in Second Life a long time will remember when there were telehubs, you couldn't port directly anywhere. And so there would be these major hubs where people would land. They'd be very high traffic. And I had 76 different shops all over the grid. So it was just manic trying to run around, build product, and maintain all of these. And Baron was the one that got me to take the leap of faith to centralize in one spot, one sim. He set me actually up in one of his own shops, in a Christmas shop. I designed a piano for that, and I really have never looked back. I've never regretted it, because it has really helped me to put my work into my design and let people come to me without having to be in a lot of other places at the same time. He also taught me the value of no shrines. Scour the earth, burn things down. Don't be afraid to tear down and reinvent 100 times. It's pixels, not brick and mortar. you really need to have fun with it. So it's been nice to learn how to be courageous about ripping things down, whether it's an opera house or just a simple build, and reinventing when you're inspired. And I think the biggest lesson I've learned from him, and the one that I continue to value the most, is just how he embraces the sort of attraction versus promotion business model. When I came in world, I was killing myself trying to build my name, build my brand, get the word out there about who I was. And at the time, there were only 10,000 people. It's much harder now when there's millions. But I really was able to watch the way that he cultivated his sim, made it very sticky, because he will be the first to tell you he hates the notion of retail. Neither of us like malls. He builds spaces that are about education, very experiential, very immersive. You go into those places and you want to just crawl in and stay there forever. And I think he's been very successful for a lot of reasons, but that's got a lot to do with it, and that's been probably one of the most valuable lessons I've learned from him. So I'm very grateful.
One more question before we wrap. Please explain the giving tree. Now, I've got a picture of it up here, which I'm just going to skim through and show. What is the giving tree and what's it for?
Well, before I came into Second Life, a good deal of my life was dominated by charity and Better World Scout pursuits. That's what brought me in here. And even though building the pianos really started out as a way of financing the tier on an island that I created, now managed by Riversong Garden, who was in the audience today, that charity had to take a backseat when I got sick. So when I started to get better again, I wanted to find a way to give back because I had just tremendous success and generosity in world. I wanted to give some of that back. So I had colleagues that started a program with me called Ubuntu, which it's not an operating system. It's actually an African word that means my humanity is tied to yours. And we were looking for ways of tapping into some of the $3 million plus revenue that flows through Second Life every single day. And what it's boiled down to now is a simple tree where people can go and purchase a leaf for $250 linden, which it's not a big investment. And what that does is that money ends up going into the working poor in developing countries around the world. So this started in April. Since that time, we've already sponsored 34 different entrepreneurs. So it's wonderful to see not only the generosity, but the capacity that this place has for influencing First Life communities in a really powerful way.
And if people want to go and contribute, they can go to Tallulah's Cafe and look for it on search, or go to your profile, and I know there's a link there as well. Thank you so much, Sue, for being our guest. I did have, as you know, about another 20 questions to ask you. I will have to get you back on the show, I think, because you do so much. You're like Nexus, an incredibly busy person with a finger in many, many pies.
Well, Nexus is one of my original friends from 4 years ago, so it makes me feel a little less like barfing.
There you go. And it's been an honour having you on the show, Sue. Best wishes for all your endeavours in real life and in Second Life.
I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Thank you. That's all we've got time for. Again, tonight it goes all too quickly every week. Thank you to all of our guests, DJ Nexus Fatal, singer-musician Matthew Perot, and content creator and Better World Scout, Sue Stonebender. If you've got a guest suggestion, please contact us here at our new website, tonightlive.paisleybeebe.com. Tonight Live is brought to you by BDMM Design, Second Life Architecture and Environmental Design. Don't forget, tune in tomorrow at 6 p.m. Second Lifetime for our new show, Fabulous Fashion with Angie Mornington. It's a wonderful show, and this week we are featuring Shai Delacroix. I look forward to bringing you Tonight Live again next week here at 6 p.m. live at the North Point Studios. Good night, everybody.